Chit Chat Shop. We are here on the road today and we are super, super excited. We are in Onslow, Nova Scotia at Warmth by Design, which I've never been to, and I'm super excited to show you around and meet the owners. But yeah, we're here and they have this amazing spot inside the shop here that's called BBQ Heaven. BBQHeaven.ca. And we are super excited because we're going to grill up some lovely pork today with our friends from Dashboard Living who are also here. We've got some smoked pork chops from the pork shop, and they've got a couple locations. They're in New Glasgow, New Denmark, and we've also got a really beautiful fresh pork tenderloin that we're gonna make a few simple things, show you how to grill it up. We're gonna head out to one of their amazing grills outside here. We'll also give you a little tour, and we'll go from there. So come on. We've got Leif. Woo woo. Exciting, I know. Well, thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you.
I love this setup. If every Chit Chat shop had this setup, I'd be like really excited. But yeah, so you guys have been here how long?
We've been here going on 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah. We got into the grilling, trying to get people in the right product for
Yep.
their needs, whether it was a charcoal grill, a gas grill,
Yep.
or even a pellet grill.
I know, I saw that earlier. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about the pellet grills.
Yeah. And, trying to get them into the product that they think they want, or
Yep.
sometimes they come in thinking they want one thing, and
then
they actually change gears on us.
Yeah, we have that happen too.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, so are you a grill master? Would you consider yourself a grill
I wouldn't
master?
say I'm a grill master, no.
Okay.
I like grilling.
You like grilling?
Yeah, I have a passion for it.
Okay.
So that's kind of how we grew the grilling side
Grilling
of it.
side of it.
Yeah.
Because you have another side.
Yeah, we do. We have a hearth side as well.
Yeah.
We started with the hearth first.
Yeah.
And then we got into the grills because I got a passion for it. And
Yeah.
There wasn't really much of a place I found around to get you into, the product.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
As long as you have the passion,
Yeah.
you can do anything,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Yeah. So, and you've got obviously a whole line of grills here, but you've also got the Pelican coolers, you've got accessories, we're going to use some of your spice rubs and your barbecue sauce today.
Yep.
We brought some from Kitchen Door, but I got to tell you, these look pretty tasty. I might be taking them home. Yeah. So, do you like to cook pork?
Pork, yes.
Yes, you
Oh,
do.
yeah.
What's your favorite cut of pork to grill?
Actually, the smoked chops from the pork shop are pretty good.
I know they're pretty good.
They're pretty good.
Well, that's why we did them today.
Yeah, they were pretty good. We actually had some on the weekend.
Yeah. No, they're a staple in most Nova Scotia grilling or fridges. Okay, so we're gonna do a pork tenderloin here. I'm just gonna clean it up slightly. So lovely, fresh. So if you were at home, how would you cook your pork? Give me your rundown. 101 by Leif.
Oh, geez. Well, of course I prep. So like a loin, you mean?
Whatever. So if you were to buy, other
Yep.
than the smoked, what
Yep.
would you grill? Do you like something a little fattier than a tenderloin?
I actually prefer pork back ribs.
Pork back ribs. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, now what would you do?
Well, first thing I do is I take the membrane off the back of the bun.
Yeah.
And then depending on, sometimes I'll soak them in apple juice, sometimes not.
Okay. How long do you soak them for? Are they like a 24-hour?
I try to. I usually get up in the morning,
Okay,
prep them,
okay.
and then put them on that later that day.
Okay.
I'm a little slack that way, but
So just straight apple juice, no salt, sugar, just
nope.
straight juice.
And then
I'm learning something.
Before I put them on the grill, then I would season them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seasoned like straight salt and pepper, purist, or would you use a rub of some kind?
I like a rub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the Texas rubs are pretty good.
Yeah. So you just straight up grill them? How long they take you?
No, not grill. I cook them more slower.
Slow. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm using charcoal.
I think it's charcoal grill.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I sort of just trimmed up the tenderloin here. We've got most of the silver skin off. It was pretty clean to start with. And we're going to use, I'm just going to run, but we're going to use our in-house barbecue rub here, which is, tell us a little bit about this. Suckle Busters. It's quite the name, I got to tell you.
It's out of Texas.
Yeah.
Very
This
popular.
is okay.
Kind of sweet with a little bit of spice.
Yeah, it says it's got some sweet heat.
Yeah, sweet heat.
Sweet heat. We like that.
Yeah.
So when I use rubs, I go fairly generously. Do you do the same?
I do the same.
You do the same?
Yeah, I do it at home.
We made burgers last night at home, and we used the barbecue rub from one of the shows we did on burgers. But I think I actually used too much. Ted said they were. I don't know. My husband loves that I cook, but not necessarily. Always agrees with my spice levels. All right, so we've just got a basic spice rub on that. Would you put more or less?
No, that looks pretty good.
Look pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Check for Patty. Here we are. Okay, so while I head out to the grill and start it up, why don't you take us on a little tour, show us some of the grills you've got. Is Brent you going to come over and join us here?
Put him on the screen first.
Yeah, come on over.
Who doesn't know Brent? Come on.
Woo!
Awesome.
Here you are. Thanks for having us, because this is going to be awesome. Because you also got a drink coming
I
up.
got a drink. We're going to do some Barrelling Tides, Dark and Stormy.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome drink to have anytime you're doing a barbecue, because it has that ginger beer and that
Yeah.
lime. Gets some awesome kick to it. And you never know, I might be spending the rest of the day here.
We might be camped out on the couch, eating some pork, having some drinks.
Probably being put to work somewhere in between there
Nobody
too.
has to go back to work. Yeah, I know.
But no, it's awesome. So yeah, we're really excited about the whole project here with you guys, and learning about all the types of different barbecue accessories and barbecues is something, because I think a lot of people are really interested in doing barbecue, but they don't have the skill set behind it.
Or they find themselves a little timid.
Timid or overwhelmed.
Or overwhelmed. I was going to say, even me, like as a chef, I don't know necessarily a lot about grilling. We use, the grills in the kitchen, but we don't sort of go outside of that. And so I get a little overwhelmed. There's a lot of accessories and a lot of things happening in there.
And there's some people around that be able to try this stuff after the fact, so it's pretty good. So we'll see if it's actually
if I know what I'm doing.
See how your grilling is and how you're doing it. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you take on a little tour? I'll heat the grill up, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome.
Get some stuff on. Cool.
So here we are in the showroom. We're really excited because you've got so many cool products here. So we'd like you to tell us a little bit about some of these awesome grills you have.
Well, we keep things pretty simple here. We carry, our gas line. We keep 2-3 main brands of gas grills.
Yep.
Different sizes for different family sizes.
Yep.
So we keep it pretty simple that way. Most of them are actually North American made product.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So is there certain things that people should know when picking out a grill? What are some must-haves?
If you're talking on the propane or the gas side, basically size.
Yep.
What size fits your needs? Then, are you going to be using side burners and rotisseries? Those are all added features. If you're going to get a grill and you're not going to use a side burner, there's no sense to have that extra expense.
Right.
Right. So that's why I say we try to put them in the right product for them.
Okay, and what about BTUs? You hear that word a lot, but a lot of times people don't really know what that actually means.
Well, BTUs is basically how much heat you're getting out of a unit. Okay. So most grills all have 2 type burners in it, as you can see on this particular demo. So the bigger the grill, the more burners it's going to have. It's going to have more BTUs to get it up quicker to temperature.
Okay.
So some people want to do some high heat first, especially on their sears. You want something that's going to have some big BTUs to heat up the stainless or the cast grids.
Okay. How about the idea is if I'm cooking just for 2 of us, like me and my wife are cooking, and we're cooking 2 steaks.
Yes.
Do you recommend turning everything on or just one side?
Well, it depends on if you're doing indirect or direct cooking.
Yep.
So if you're doing steaks, you're going to do direct cooking.
Yep.
So you're probably going to cook on one side of the grill, where, as I say, you have this particular grill, you're going to have direct cooking, means you're cooking right over the heat.
Yep.
Or indirect cooking, you're going to turn on these 2 burners and cook on the opposite side. So if you're doing steaks, you'll be direct cook.
Yeah, and so you could go ahead and just use one side, and that's totally okay.
Yeah, that's
because
totally.
I make fun of people all the time for not turning on all the burners,
no.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Just turn them all on.
Turn them on. Yeah, no. It depends on what you're cooking and how you're cooking. Yeah.
So I have to kind of apologize to a few people now.
Well, you may.
Apologize. Yeah, sorry guys. I've been making fun of you the whole time, whether you knew it or not. Behind you is something also that's really cool. It's like I've never seen one of these before, so maybe you can explain this a little bit.
They're pellet grills, so they use wood pellets, food grade pellets. There's quite a few different ones on the market. We carry this particular brand here. Had very good luck with it. Basically, you just load your hopper with your pellets. It has an augering system. You load your wood pellets here. Turn the on button on, and it will go to its preheat and set it. And then, depending on the unit, these ones here, they're within 5 degrees.
Wow.
So this is more for the people who want to get into the grilling and smoking aspect and like to keep it simple.
This is probably the biggest egg I think I've ever seen, literally.
Well, we had a lot of So the egg family is quite large. I believe there's 7 different sizes.
Wow.
And this is the 2XL. This is the newer of the family. We're actually going to have this for our demos. We do a lot of demos in-house as well. So will this be our new demo egg? It's very large. So we have a lot of people coming in asking, well, how big is the 2XL?
Wow.
Well, this isn't for your average home. For the people that do a lot of entertaining, want to have the wow factor, this would probably be it.
All right, so now we pretty much covered the barbecues. So I see there's a ton of accessories back there that we want to take a look
And the
at.
accessories can give it, there's quite a few too.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the accessories.
As Patty was talking earlier, this is where the overwhelm can come in. When it comes to accessories, you see a lot of these different types of wood chips. I was looking at these earlier. These go into the little portable smokers, is that correct?
Yeah, so if you can put the chips would go into like a smoking tube if it was on a gas grill, or some people use it into their like your eggs or your Komodos. They'll soak the chips and give it a little extra smoky flavor to whatever they're cooking. So each brand species of trees actually does have a different flavor. Yeah, it does.
And there's I know there's a few things that say that there's rum flavor and whiskey flavor. So I'm guessing that comes from like an old whiskey barrel.
It comes from the old barrels that they no longer use anymore. So like tequila or rum barrels, or
you end up getting that infused
you get that little
flavor.
extra infused flavor. Yeah.
Awesome. So and this right here is kind of where all your rubs and where all your sauces
Yeah, so
are.
there's some of our rubs and spices and a little bit on the sauce side. Yep. Lately the Blues Hog's a very popular one for us.
And you have a favorite?
Me personally, there's some of the suckle busters, a lot of their spice, depending on what you're cooking, if it's chicken or pork or even vegetables, depending on what you're cooking.
Has some different stuff. So another big part of barbecuing, a lot of people overlook, is the maintenance and the cleaning.
Maintenance and cleaning. It's probably the most abused kitchen appliance a homeowner has.
Wow.
They keep it on out in the elements, never clean it, never look after it. I have quite a few consumers come to me. My grill doesn't work like it did last year. Well, when's the last time it was cleaned? So we get into some cleaning stuff like over on the shelf here. Just a few accessories for helping you get your grill back up to
life,
almost new.
Okay. Cool. Is there any tips that you have when somebody's cleaning? What's the one thing that you must do?
Well, you should be cleaning your grids. And cleaning your grids, there's quite a few different products on the market for cleaning your grids, whether it's a wooden scraper that's very popular now, depending on your grills. This is a newer product here. It's kind of like a Swiffer pad. It has cleaning. It's more for degreasing. You take off the bigger
chunks
and then put a pad on it. It's more of a degreaser for your grills. Cast grids are probably one that gets neglected the most. They do need to be seasoned, just like a cast iron. Well, of course, you need some barbecue tools of some sort, whether it's a spatula or a set of tongs, and there's quite a few different ones you can get. It's all depending on the user, I guess, the customer themselves. Big thing is one of the biggest accessories I would say probably is probably your grill, your rib racks. It's pretty endless, as you can tell on the wall. There's quite a few.
And we're going to do some cooking now. Now you're going to show us how to cook.
Well, I'll try.
Smell that?
I'm grilling. Woo-hoo. I started without you.
Are you lonely out here? Are you lonely out here?
No, I love it. I mean, who couldn't ask? It's covered. I'm not in the sun. My delicate skin.
When people want to come here, what exit do they come off? Like, how do they get here off the highway and everything?
It's off the 102. It's exit 14A.
And it's right at the top of the exit. You just turn right. So, I've got the pork tenderloin sort of on medium high. And I've turned the smoked pork chop down because I find with the barbecue sauces when they have sugar in them, so any sort of maple or honey, they burn up really, really easily. So once I get a little of my grill marks on, I sort of turn the heat down on the, and then I just continue to add a nice little sauce. You can spoon it on, or you can brush it on.
So someone like, is there? I'm a flipper. And I shouldn't be.
I know.
No,
you are not supposed to be.
That's why I'm asking the question. So
you agree, right?
Okay, so how do you know when to flip?
So what you're trying to do when you put meat down on the grill is you want to get a crust. It's the same thing what, you know, Chef Andrew on a couple of Chit Chat chops kind of lost it on some people in the cast iron skillet, right? It's the same exact thing. So you want to be able to get that meat to crust. And so if you pull it off too easy, you're going to tear the meat. Like, which people always say, oh, my stuff sticks to the grill. It should never stick. You have to leave it. So I would say, usually what I do is I let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes on high starting, and then I'll flip it a little bit. But I always sort of gently pull it and sort of see if it sticks. And if it still sticks, just leave it on there. It's not done. Your grill isn't hot enough. So I usually start with a hot grill, and then depending on the product I'm doing, I take it down. So I'll put fish on hot, and then I'll turn it right down to low.
Why don't you come in here a little
You're
bit?
the grill master too. Come
Well,
on.
What's your advice?
What's your
I do.
thing?
I do have to agree with her. So a lot of people.
Oh, I love it. Look.
Well, she loves me now.
Yeah, I'm always right, I tell my husband.
Most people they flip their meat or turn it too much. It's I always say, like, you know, you don't rotate your heat, not your meat. Right?
Yeah, I love
Okay?
it. That's a good one.
That is going in the status for this Chit Chat shop. Rotate your heat, not your meat. I like that.
One of the other things I'll say is that, like, this was just a simple dry rub. So sometimes when you put a dry rub on, your meat can sort of, especially something lean like pork tenderloin, is going to sort of dry out. So all I did was take the same rub that we were using, and I mixed it with a little oil. I had olive oil, but you could use canola, grapeseed, anything. And then all I do with the back of a spoon is just sort of drop it down and then rub it along. And so it keeps the meat from drying out. Also adds a little bit more glisten, which is nice. And it also helps the meat from sticking. So I do the same thing with fish too. If I'm using like a salsa verde, or I'll just do a little oil and I'll just rub it on, and it really helps keep things moist and continues to, you know, get a nice crust on the outside.
So what machine are we using here?
This is actually a Broil King. It's considered their commercial grade grill. We use it a lot for rentals, so we do rent out grills as well. So
Oh, do you?
yeah, so we rent out
I
grills.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so we rent them out to some people have the, you know, they want to take it to the park to a family reunion. Well, they don't want to lug their grill. Well, we have one here. We can just take it over for.
Or if a caterer gets hired to do a bunch of people around
Exactly.
churro.
Yeah,
I know you were thinking there.
I know.
Patty.
I'm like, oh, I didn't know you rented grills.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat right down on the smoked, because they really just have to come to temp, the smoked pork chops, right? You know, you're not worried about cooking them all the way. I mean, they're fully cooked. Yeah, cool. Any other big tips for grilling?
Pretty much like one of the big things, like you said, people don't get the grill hot.
Yeah.
Right, get it hot,
terrified.
then get it down. You know,
Yeah.
right.
And that also helps from a cleanliness perspective. Like, I always, once I'm done grilling, I always leave my grill on. I take it right back up to high for like a couple of minutes, burn it all off, and then cool it. Or if you haven't done that, if you're a lazy griller like my husband, I'm not naming names, then I fire it on at the beginning for the next time to sort of burn off any residual stuff that's left on the grill. What do you do?
I do both.
do both. Okay.
I do look after my grill. So yeah, I do both. Like at the end and
And at the beginning. Okay, we're almost there. Yeah.
So what's when they say use your thumb? Do you use your thumb for this? Like your
No, that's
mushy
for
part?
steak.
Okay. So what do you do?
I
for
just
this?
do it by feel. Yeah,
But to someone who has no clue, what do you mean?
well, here, if it was really, really soft, so it's got a little bit of give to it, which is what you want. There's not a lot of fat in tenderloin, so you want a little bit. But like with a steak, you always say, you know, up here it's more well done, down here it's more soft. So if you got more give to the meat, then it's less done. And some people like their pork medium. I'm more of a medium well-ish. I like a little pink, but not like overly pink. But yeah, and then, so for pork, it's 155 is the accepted health code or food code in terms of internal temperature. Unless it's ground, and then it would be 165. But yeah, you can use a thermometer. I use a thermometer at home. I test all my meats. It's the way to test a steak to make sure, right? Yeah. Sometimes you're flawed in your assessment. Well, we're back. We were outside in the lovely, lovely sunny day here in Onslow, and we're back in with the pork chop products that we cooked up. We have the smoked pork chop, and we have a beautiful pork tenderloin, and we're going to slice them up. Is everybody ready? Come on back over, Leif. So I kept this pork tenderloin pretty simple. So we're going to slice it up, and then I often just serve like pork tenderloin with a nice little salad. Sometimes I'm greens only. Sometimes I can add, depends what's in the fridge, depends what's in the garden. But this is just some arugula. And so I always season my greens with a little salt and a little pepper. It's a keto really good salad, salt and pepper. Yeah. People don't think about that. They season everything else, but they don't season their greens.
No, I don't.
I know. You need to season your greens and you'll blow people's mind. So we have a little vinaigrette here that just comes from our shop. This is our white balsamic. You don't need much. And my hands are clean, so I'm going to just lightly dress this. The other thing that goes really, really good with pork, I find, is pineapple. So sometimes I will grill pineapple and I'll add that into the salad, which works really, really well. And there's another thing that goes really, really good with pork. We have a beautiful cocktail here. Did you whip this up? Leif's like, no.
No, I didn't whip it up.
Brent whipped it up, and it is a Barrelling Tide Rum Dark and Stormy with what ginger beer?
I don't know. Jamaican ginger.
Jamaican ginger beer. It's gonna look at that. Delish. All right, so I'm gonna just put a little bit of the salad on the back of the plate. Give my hands a quick wash, and I'll slice up the meat.
Throw into the strings. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, tell us what you think. Are you a dark and stormy kind of guy?
I don't know. I'll find out probably.
Leif's like, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if I am or not.
All right, well, here. Come on over. Try one out. Oh, they're nice and cold. I love it. I'm going to squeeze my lime. Perfect. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for having us. Oh, that's delicious.
Not bad. Not bad.
I love it. All right, so I'm just going to slice up this tenderloin. I just do it on the bias. And I was talking earlier, because I brought one of the things we do a lot with pork, or actually just any grilled meats, is we do like a fresh herb, what we call salsa verde, which is, I know, you looked at me like,
I know,
oh, you were, that's all
Earlier I
right.
did.
So it's just, it adds a little bit of brightness to it. So it's got fresh herbs, a little oil, sometimes you put garlic, sometimes you put chives, lemon zest and a little bit of lemon juice, and you just drizzle it lightly on top of the meat. And I think it'll pair really well with the rub that we put on. So let's just, and we will take, that'll be our taster piece. Here, make sure it tastes okay. All right, perfect. Give my hands a quick rinse.
He did while she was turned away. He ate it.
Did you give a foot? Did you give a look? Is it good?
It's good.
It's good. Okay. And again, this is just that fresh herb, so it's, I'm just going to drizzle it over. And I find like lots of people like this, so sometimes they'll like pull it up off the bottom of the plate. Perfect. So that is our pork tenderloin with the rub, and then these are our smoked pork chops. And these don't really need anything. I mean, you can serve them. What would you serve these at home with? I think you said you cook them up on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you serve with these?
Sometimes we'll do grilled potatoes or mostly just a salad of some sort.
Mostly just a salad.
And
Okay.
I might have to season my greens next. I guess.
Yes. I mean, learning things, huh? So I'm going to cut some of these up just for little tasters, and then I'll present some pork. Let's go this one. I like this look of this one. I'll put 2 of those up there. And sometimes, again, depending, I like a little grilled sauce, plus I like a little fresh barbecue sauce, so sometimes I'll just do a few drizzles. Got to get a little fancy sometimes. And then I have some pea shoots here from Riverview Herbs. And that's it. Those are our smoked pork chops. What do you think? Look like your barbecue? So
A little fancier.
it's just a little green, that's all. Just a little. Okay, let's taste up the smoked pork chop. Oh, that's good. Go try it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm gonna have a drink. See how it tastes.
Brent, you gotta get in there and try.
Yeah, come on in.
He's dying over
Look,
there.
there's here. Like, oh, give me the. Oh, it's really good. That's the tenderloin. You need tenderloin. You need a little look. We'll take the one off the end so we can still do some photos. There you go. Try it with the salsa verde, and then the smoke. They do a really nice job on those smoked pork chops.
That's really good.
Yeah. Those are pea shoots. Yeah.
You get ready. You get just take pictures.
Come on over.
Come on this side. Take a picture. Yeah, that's okay. This is open. This is an open.
We're cash here at
really
Chit
good.
Chat Shop.
Yes, get right in there.
Very cash.
Get in there.
Well, that's it.
Yep.
So you learned to season your greens.
Seasoned greens. So I'm
Season
gonna
greens, and
try
I learned about pellet grills,
Pellet grills.
which I'm super excited about. So, oh no, I'm out of the shop. And we had some delicious pork chop products here, which I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to know your shops here because I didn't appreciate that there was this much stuff. Because
And knowledge, all this
I
knowledge.
know all this
in here.
knowledge.
I don't know what his wife was saying earlier, but she's running away now. But
She does tell a few lies.
So where can we find you? We can find you online, BBQHeaven.ca. And where else? We'll find you in Onslow. Exit 14A.
14A.
Is it Upper Onslow or is it Onslow?
Upper Onslow.
Upper Onslow. It's right by the big RVs. We drive by when we go to PEI. Cool. That's it. Well, come check them out. Thanks so much for coming on Chit Chat Shop or hosting us here. It's always fun to take it on the road.
Glad to come.
And follow our grilling series with Dashboard Living. They're doing excellent 8 weeks? 8 whole weeks.
8 weeks of recipes
Yeah.
with these guys. Every single week a new recipe with
Awesome.
Kitchen Door making up the recipes.
We
and
love it.
We're trying to banter back and forth with Andrew a little bit and
Yes.
stuff. And I think
We'll have to have like a chef showdown.
Yeah, maybe.
You and Andrew.
Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Cool.
It'd have to be the last week so I get all this information first. I'm learning all this stuff and then finally I'm like,
We need to have all mad skills
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining us, Chit Chat Shop, here at BBQ Heaven and Warmth by Design. We'll see you next week.